To break down the changes to the state's juvenile justice laws, kids between the ages of 10 and 12 will now be able to face consequences for certain crimes. The laws will require a child in need of supervision or SINS petition to be filed with a kid in that age range who's accused of stealing a car. The laws extended the length of probation in some cases and requires notification when a juvenile already under DJS supervision commits another crime. And an oversight panel tasked with monitoring programs and progress within DJS has been created. And while state's attorneys say it's a step in the right direction, they also say the laws won't solve the problem overnight. With November 1st just days away, new juvenile justice laws in Maryland will soon be put into action. But how effective will these laws be in tackling tough crime?
I think little by little over the next weeks and months, hopefully I strongly believe that we will begin to see change.
We sent questions to state's attorneys in several counties, asking, do you think juvenile crime will be affected by the changes in state law? Will the legislative changes help your office's efforts to maintain public safety, or do you think the changes will have little impact? And has there been any coordination between your office and the Maryland Department of Juvenile Services on how the new process will function? Starting in Baltimore City, State's Attorney Ivan Bates says,
but everybody, because what it does is hopefully get the young people in the treatment rehabilitation right away. The data clearly says, and all the experts say, to change the actions of young people, they must have swift and certain consequences.
While Bates says change will be gradual, he says the laws should bring more accountability.
Maybe in the long run, the cases will go down because hopefully we will not see some of the repeat offenders because we will deal with them at the very beginning instead of 3 and 4 times when they've had cases.
But Bates says the new laws will also bring significantly higher caseloads.
So if an officer asks for a young person to be detained, then DJS, even if they decide that that's not the way they want to go, they must refer those cases to us within 2 days. And that's going to be a heavy lift for DJS. Also, making sure that we, meaning the prosecutors, receive each and every single felony case. And so, therefore, the other issue is, it used to be in the past, they could give that to us within 25 days, and sometimes they're taking longer. Now it's 15 days.
He says it will be a heavy lift for his office, too. He says they've hired additional staff to prepare. When asked if he thought DJS could handle it,
my office had those conversations with DJS. They recognize the change in the law, and I feel that they will be able to handle that. You know, I suspect that they're prepared to do that.
Moving on to Baltimore County. State's Attorney Scott Schellenberger says he thinks the changes will help their efforts to keep the public safe and believes they will have more cases, allowing the courts to treat the underlying problems experienced by the offenders. He says if these efforts work, that should drive juvenile crime down. While Schellenberger's office says there hasn't been any coordination with DJS, he says since many of the changes existed prior to 2022, he believes it will work seamlessly. In Carroll County, State's Attorney Haven Shoemaker says while he welcomes many of the changes to hold juveniles accountable,
they're going to get more input from the local state's attorney's offices, which is a help. The longer probation terms specified under the new law will certainly help.
He says the legislation doesn't go far enough.
One thing I would say that the legislature needs to take a look at is the Child Interrogation Protection Act, because they didn't touch that at all.
Shoemaker says so far there hasn't been any coordination between their office and DJS about the new processes. And in Calvert County, State's Attorney Robert Harvey echoes some of the same sentiments. He says the new laws are a step in the right direction, but wants to see the legislature take more action. But for Bates, when asked if more changes need to come, well, he says he eventually does want to see changes with DJS and the way cases are handled. He says for now, he wants to wait and evaluate what's happening.
There's nothing within this process or these new laws that I look at and say, oh, this can lead to mass incarceration, more people being arrested. What it does is talk about accountability for DJS, accountability for the system, accountability for young people, which hopefully equals safety for all the residents and citizens of not only Baltimore, but across the state.
We did also reach out to the Anne Arundel County State's Attorney's Office, but we're told State's Attorney Ann Colton-Litis was out of town. And as for DJS, when we hear back, we'll let you know what they have to say. In the studio, Jessica Babb, Fox 45 News.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.